Welcome to Canasta Class Live Clinic. Hello, my Canasta friends. In this live clinic, we'll be discussing basics, tips, and strategies all about canasta as we play on real canasta. Continuing from last week, this is part 2 of 2, so check out last week's all about the sevens and aces. Tonight we'll be talking about mistakes that are commonly made, picking the pack, and scoring and going out, and when it might not be signaling your partner. Please put any questions in the chat and I'll be sure to answer them. If you're watching the recording, please put questions in the comments below and of course I'll reply to all of them. Let's get going on our topic. Hello everyone, welcome. So common mistakes that players make about aces and sevens. First of all, when they begin and they're making their initial meld, they will put out a queen of 3 aces, meaning a clean triple, for their opener. Once you place down clean aces, they must remain clean. If you do not complete them, you will have a penalty of 2,500 points. The second mistake that's common is failing to hold 2 aces and 2 sevens in your hand. The third mistake is holding more than 2 sevens and 2 aces in your hand and receiving a penalty at the end of the game. Mistake is if a team opens with mixed aces, you no longer need to hold 2 aces, so you don't have to hold them anymore. These are just common mistakes that we discussed in part 1, what you should do. Picking the pack. You can only pick the pack with aces when melding if it goes down clean. So sometimes when you pick the pack, you pick it on when you put down your initial meld, and you can only pick it if you're putting down clean aces. This is the exception to the rule while picking the pack with a pair. Picking the pack, and it's a dirty pack, which means in the pack there are more aces and sevens than you have the opportunity to get rid of. So it's near the end of the game and you get stuck with all those aces and sevens. You will have a penalty in your hand of 1,500 points for more aces and sevens. So why would you pick the pack? If you pick the pack and there are a lot of canastas in there, even if you get the 1,500 point penalty for holding them in your hand, you will get lots of positive points from the canastas you complete. But you have to make sure that you're going to get those canastas. If you don't have any canastas and you have a lot of threes, you're trying to cover your threes. So sometimes you have to pick the pack and get the penalty for having more aces and sevens. You never want to lay them down because you don't know if your partner has all them. If sevens were signaled from your partner, you can open with sevens and your partner can close them with sevens, even if you have negative points for aces or vice versa. So be careful when picking the pack. You have to kind of decide if it's worth the risk of picking it and having all the sevens and aces in your hand. Make sure you know where all the sevens and aces are, so please make sure you're counting. And again, refer back to part 1 of this series about counting sevens and aces. There's lots to consider when picking the pack. Going out. When you are able to go out, meaning you have completed 2 canastas and you're able to get rid of all your cards on your turn, you may ask permission of your partner to go out. You may only ask once per game per team. Your partner may say yes or no if you can go out. If they say no, the only reason they would ever say no, in my opinion, is that they have more than 2 sevens and 2 aces in their hand. However, I suppose your partner might say no if she's been counting points and she knows you're very close to ending the game and winning it at 8,500 points. But I would say majority of the time, the only time your partner should say no if she holds more than 2 sevens or 2 aces. You need to watch your partner if she does say no, what she discards. Make sure she discards sevens and aces. When she no longer discards sevens and aces, you're going to then go ahead and proceed to go out. You cannot ask your partner again. So be sure to watch and don't hesitate. These are tips to help you when going out. Scoring of aces and sevens. At the end of play, you must lay your hand face up for all those to see. Communicate that you're not holding more than 2 sevens and 2 aces in your hand. Once you get the bonus points for the canasta or penalty for uncompleted canastas, you will also count the points of the individual cards and add to the card count if melded on the table. This also applies to 3 sevens and aces in your hand. If you have a penalty, you must tally the individual points of those sevens and aces and are deducted from your card count. Cards in your hand are always negative unless your team have a special hand. Scoring reminder: if you do not have any canastas, all the cards melded, threes, and the cards in your hand are negative. Please do not subtract the cards in your hand from the melds on the table when scoring. We call this washing the cards when you have one or more canastas. Reminder: sevens and aces will never be discarded on an empty tray. However, the final discard can be any card. This card is face down, and it'd be the only case that you would maybe discard a 7 or an ace face down. This topic is very broad. I try to minimize it to help you understand. Sometimes it is not signaling when your partner discards an ace or a 7. Here are some examples. When your team needs 180 to open, holding sevens can make it hard to get those points, so your partner or you will discard sevens. Please again keep track of sevens in the discard by counting them to make sure you don't put all the sevens in there. Number 2, minimal cards. Sometimes after you open, you have placed all your cards down and you don't have enough cards in your hand. Sometimes you will discard a 7 or an ace in the discard pile, and you'll want to make sure you understand that your partner's doing this, or yourself, because they have minimal cards. Your partner or yourself should then proceed to hold aces and sevens as a strategy. Number 3, when it's not signaling when you're going for a special hand. When players are going for special hands, they don't need sevens sometimes, so they will discard them, or aces. You have to understand the person you are partnering with, and you get to learn their style of play. 4, when there's no safe discards. When the other team opens and then you have to discard to the player on your left, that person has an entire 13 cards in their hand, and you want to make sure that they don't pick the pack. So you're trying to safeguard against that. Sometimes you will throw a 7 to make sure that they don't pick the pack. So usually throwing a safe discard on top of a large discard pile, and thereby discouraging your competitor from picking the pack. Number 5, when it's not signaling your partner. Opponents incur a penalty. Sometimes you want to bait the other team into picking the pack, knowing that they are unable to close pure aces or sevens, and they will incur a penalty. When you go for a special hand, you might hold on to more sevens or aces. Please be careful when doing so. I hope you enjoyed this last 2 parts of sevens and aces. Please, if you have any questions, reach out to me. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button. As I mentioned in previous videos. I have lots of videos on my channel. You can go back and view tons of videos about sevens and aces. So head on over there and again, click subscribe so you know when I have more topics coming up on my live or when I post new videos. Thank you for coming and supporting me. You can support me by clicking subscribe, giving me a thumbs up if you enjoy the topic, share with one of your Canasta friends, and also leave a comment below. It's fun to chat and engage with you, so if you're here tonight and you want to type something in the chat, I would love to chat with those while I'm playing, maybe something you would do different. We're always all here learning together. And thank you again for taking some time out of your evening tonight and joining me on Canasta Class. Let's head on over to Real Canasta and play a game of 8,500 points. Sometimes we get to fit in more than one. So we're going to start a new game. I'm playing fast. I have initial meld of 5 cards, which means I have to have 5 of a rank before I can add a wild. And I'm in invisible mode, and we're going to start a new game. We always sort our cards and we put our 3s out first and get a card for our 3 and then pick a card for our turn. Our opening meld is here at the bottom of the screen. We need 125 and we need a clean triple. So we have more than that. I'm going to build up a pile and hopefully pick the pack. I'm going to discard a 4. And I'm going to discard a 9. I'll let it go around a few times and then I'll go ahead and open. Put out my 3 and a 6. And now we pretty much have pairs of everything, so I'm going to go ahead and open. At this point, I don't know that my opponent is going to throw a card to me. And I have plenty of points. And now this would be an example of where I'm not signaling my partner. I've just opened, so I need to have a good discard. I'm going to discard a 7, and then I'm going to get my talon of 4 cards for being the first to open. My partner was able to pick the pack, and I know there was 1 7 in there. So let's see, counting 7s and aces. We picked a king to close. We got our first canasta. I could put out a 4 for a pure canasta. Now we have 2 canastas. The other team has not even opened yet. I'm going to go ahead and put out my 8s, put out my 10, and discard my jack. My partner picked the pack. Again, there's only 2 cards in there, but my opponent, whatever I put down, she might pick the pack. I'm going to close the 8s, and I'm going to discard a 7. Now I know my partner has 1, that's another 1, and I have 1, so I know of 3 right now. That's 4, but only 2 in the deck. And I'm going to ask my partner to go out. I'll put out my 3 queens and discard my 7. My partner did have 2 7s and 2 aces. We received 2,360. The other team received 1,020. on to our next round. We're still both at 125 for opening. Sort by suit. At the beginning of a game, you may hold on to more aces to open your point count. This will not be my clean triple. I have to come up with a clean triple. A 7 was just discarded, so we have to keep track of 7s and aces. And again, if you want more information on that, go to part 1 of this video. So there's 0 aces and 1 7. I'm going to discard a 4. Oh boy, got a lot of wilds. 0 aces, 1 7. 0 aces, 2 7s. I'm going to open with wilds and see, hopefully my partner has 2 wilds to help me complete a wild card canasta. Now my partner has all of those 7s, so I'm going to give her all my 7s. Put out your 3s. And I'm going to put out my ace first and then, oh sorry, I have to pick a card. Oh, I should have picked the kings. Whoops. It's okay. I'll get them next time. I'm going to get rid of an ace because I don't, if they go for a special hand, I don't want to have 3 aces. And then I'll do the 7 next. And yes, I should have closed the wilds. Okay, we'll close the wilds. I'm going to put out my 4s and my single 10 and get rid of the 7 because remember my partner has 7s. I can go ahead and put out the 10 to close it. I can put out my 8 and my 5. And my partner discarded aces. We can put out an ace. I think that's 3 aces. 1 7. I am going to put out the jack. I have a feeling they're going to pick it. Yeah. It's okay. I didn't want to give them the other ace. I think there's a lot of aces in there. So he's got a lot of aces in his hand. I didn't have much of a choice. Nines are good. They're in 6th position. And I hold the aces, I think. I'm not sure my partner has them. I'm going to put out my 2 and put out a king. He probably has kings. Nines are dead. And I don't have a pair, nor would I want to pick that pack. It's very dirty. There's lots of 7s and aces, but not enough to make a canasta. So we'll end the game. We made 3,950 and they made 2,279. My partner did keep 7s. The opponents also had 1 7 here and 1 7 there, so there's no way we're going to make 7s. My opponent also had a pair of aces. We had a pair of aces, so no one was going to make aces. We are at 180 and they are at 155. Next round. Always sort your cards by rank. We are at 180. These small cards of 5 points are not going to get us to 180. We do have our clean triple. So we have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We don't have enough just yet. 50, 60, 70. We are 10 points short. And I think that's it. Let's see. We have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I'm going to go one more time around in the hopes that my opponents throw a card that we can pick the pack. And then I will put out my cards for hopefully my partner to pick the pack. There's 1 7 and a 4. Okay, I'm going to open. So let's put out 2 6s and 2 wilds. Whoops. Our 9s with 2 wilds and our queens. Oh, got a pair of kings, that's nice, and a queen. Oh, my partner was able to pick the pack. Now, something you should start looking at is my partner put down a 10, so I'm going to discard a 10. That means we're not holding 10s. So you have to watch what your partner puts out. I'm going to put out my ace. Show my partner where all the aces are. She discarded an ace. Sixes and are dead, and 10s, remember, we're not collecting. I can put out a 5. 6s are closed, so that's a safe discard. I'm going to put out the 8. They might pick it with 8s. I could also put out a king. It's, you know, it's your bet. This is all I have. I should have probably put out the jack and not placed it down, even because they have jacks. So you can account for all the jacks. The jacks would have been the best to discard. I'm going to do the king. Oh, wow. So they did get that pack, and there are some 7s in there that's not great. So maybe they'll get stuck with them. Maybe we can get out before they have a chance to get rid of them. Kings are dead. Five and 8s are a good discard, and 9s because it's a dead card. They did not have a penalty of 7s, so that was good for them. Pretty impressive. I wonder why he didn't put down his, oh, I think she just put down her 8. Wow, we are so close. We are at 8,140, so we have to play to 8,500 points. They are at 5,670. We are both at 180. Next round. Put out your 3. Pick a card for your turn. And we are at 180, so we have 120, 30, 40, 50, 65. So let's get rid of a low card. Low card again. I'm going to get rid of, I think, a 4. I'm trying to get higher cards. I have to get to 180. I already have my clean triple with the 10s. Hold on to your 7. We might end up getting rid of that 7. Let's get rid of a 9. Oh, there's a 7. I think we can open. Let's go ahead and open so that my partner hopefully can pick the pack. And here's our clean triple, and we are at 180. And I'm going to discard. Oh wow, another wild card. That's why we could open. We had the big jokers, which are 50 points each. I'm going to close the 10s. And get rid of a 6. Get rid of a queen. We did win that game with 9,440. Remember, we just have to get over 8,500. Our opponents lost that game and they got a deduction of 935 points and they went down to 4,735. Wow, look at all the 2s on my partner's hand. Wow, we had a lot of wild cards. They didn't have any. They had 1, 2. They had a 2 and a joker. We have plenty of time. We're going to start a new game from the very beginning. So let's play again. Sort your cards by rank and pick a card for your turn. And I'm going to discard the 6. The other team's opening fast. There's your first 7. And they have 10, so I'm going to have to break up these 10s and give them to them here. This person opened with 10s, so it's a good discard. We're at 125. We're starting a new game. Now I have to discard here. It's a little nerve-wracking, but I will go with the 8. So we have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We don't have enough. This is where I'm going to discard a 7, and I hope my opponent understands, or excuse me, I hope my partner understands that I don't have a safe discard to the player on my left. So I'm going to discard a 7. It's only the second 7 in the deck. And if you remember, my partner discarded a 7, so she kind of signaled, so I can't get rid of my 7s. They just got the 7s. I don't think they got 7 canasta, but they have a few 7s in their hand. I think there's 3. That was a good pickup. I still think we're short. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110. Guess I have a lot of wilds. 10s are closed right here. Good discard. I have some nice cards, but I need a wild. Oh, there it is. I think we're good now. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and open. I could use my jacks or my kings as my clean triple. I'm going to go ahead and put my kings out and add the wild to the jacks. Maybe my partner has some jacks. And I'm going to discard the queen. I mean the ace. I'm going to discard the ace, sorry. We got another jack. We're shy on wilds. I'm breaking up the 4s. I'm not sure if this person has a pair. You know what? My partner has 7s. I'm going to give a 7. We were unable to go out because we don't have any canastas. My partner did have 2 7s, so that was a good choice. Got to pay attention what people are discarding. We got negative points because we never got a canasta. We don't have any wilds to add to here to close it. And my partner had a bunch of low cards. So it didn't help. And I don't know why. Oh, I think I just ordered. Did I just add the jack? He had 2 wilds. I don't know why he didn't close the jacks. But we are still at 125, and so is the other team. Sort your cards by rank. Put out your 3s. Take a new card every time. And then pick a card for your turn. Here is your first 7 out. So it's 0 aces, 1 7. And we're trying to get 125. I'm going to hold on to my aces at this point just to get the points. And I need a clean triple, which I don't have yet. But I'm going to get rid of the 4. There's another 7. That's 2 7s. We're not going to make 125. What do we have? 80. Yeah, we're going to have to get rid of these. My partner threw out a 5. I'm going to get rid of 5. She's not holding on to 5s. So there's 2 7s in there. My partner also got rid of a 10, so I'm going to get rid of a 10. This is 100, 10, 20, 30, but we need a clean triple. So we need either another 6 or a king. We have the points. I'm going to put out a 9. Yay, my partner opened. Kings, aces, and 9s. Oh no. It's not good. The other team picked the pack. So they have a bunch of sevens. I gotta hold on to my sevens. And they do a king. That's perfect. Let's take the pack. Even though it's only one card, we're closer to a canasta. I'm gonna put out my ace. Maybe they'll discard an ace. Actually, it's dirty. I'm gonna put out 2 aces and I'm gonna close it. Let's see, the opponents put out 6s, 5s, and 8s. Maybe I will put out the 8. Oh, that was a surprise. Pure canasta. That's why I left it open. That's 1 7. 4s are closed. That's 2 7s. I'm going to put out the jack. They only have 1 card, so he can't pick anything. And they're going to go out. They get 100 points for going out. Oh, it was a close game. We both had 2,040. The other team had 2,065. That was a close game. They are at 155, and we're going to be at 125 still because we had negative points the last game. Sort your cards by rank. Pick a card for your turn and discard. We're at 125 still. There's our clean triple. Let's get rid of our 4s. We have to get to one. Well, let's say we have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 15. We only have 115. Maybe we could get rid of an 8. We either need a queen. I guess we need a queen or some 10s. They're opening. Sixes and 9s. I don't have any of those. Oh, we have 7. 1 7. Oh, we're creeping here. We have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20. We need 5 more points. Okay, let's try 10. Oh boy, that's a terrible card to throw. And 8s are closed. Oh, we should have it now. Okay, let's open. Hopefully get on this game here. And maybe my partner. There's my clean. And I do need a discard, so I'm going to hold that a second. I might use that for my discard. And there's my discard. I had to have a discard. I could have used a 7 or an ace, but I didn't want to put that out there. Oh, he did only have 1. Oh, didn't help us. Bummer. Aish. My partner's going for pairs. He needed an 8. Bummer. I think that's the same exact score we got last time when we were negative. They are at 180 and we are at 125. Maybe we can get a special hand and we can get some more points back. Put out your threes. Take a card for your turn. Sort by rank and discard. We can try for a special hand called the zip code, where it's 4 of a kind, 3 of a kind, 3 of a kind, and 2 pairs. We don't have any wilds. Let's try for that zip code. Sometimes when you discard a high card at the very beginning, your partner will know that you're going for a special hand and give you the opportunity to do so. The other signal is possibly that you have a bunch of wilds and you're seeing if they have wilds also. Oh, they're opening. It's okay, we're in a good position to pick the pack. We have lots of pairs. And we have 5. Let's pick the pack. You don't always have to put out cards. You can hold them in your hand with the intention that you're going to pick the pack again. So I'm going to try to keep pairs in my hand and hope to pick the pack again. So we have 5, 6s, 8s, a 9. I'm going to get rid of the 10. Now that we have 2 canastas, or we're working on 2, I should say, here we go. I can pick it again. That gave us a pure canasta. I'm going to put everything out now that we have 2 canastas. And hopefully my partner can close some of these. 4s are closed, 10s are not. I'm going to, oh, you know what? I can close the 8s and put out my 10. My partner's trying to get rid of all his cards so that we can go out. I don't think I want to pick the pack. I think there's some not so great cards in here. I'm going to move on. Put the jack out. And I guess I'll put a king out. I figured he'd pick it because a king was a card that hasn't been thrown. I'm hoping my partner has some wilds so we can go out. Oh, she doesn't. Bummer. I wanted my partner to go out. Here's a wild. They won with 89-60, and they got cleared of aces and 7s. They had 2 7s and no aces. That was good for them. So they won at 8,960 and we had 3,430. We could start another game, a full game. Let's start again. I usually like to go to 7:30. Put out your 3s. This is a new game. Pick a card, and we're looking to open with 125. We possibly could do a pairs hand. We have a lot of pairs. So let's get rid of 5 or 6. We'll do a 6, and hopefully we'll get a 5 and we'll have pairs. There's 1 7. A king. I'm going to put out my 5. Yay, we have pairs. Special hand of pairs. It's a good way to gather some points. We got 2,000 points and they got negative 370. Next hand. Sort by rank. Put out your 3s. Pick a card for your turn. And let's see, what do we have? We have our clean triple, but we need some more here. So let's get rid of the 4. Oh, we have enough now, right? We have 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, plenty. So let's start keeping pairs. Let's get rid of a 10. Let's see if we can draw out a card here that we can pick the pack. A 6, and we have it. So let's take the pack. So we do 100, 10, 20, and then we only need 5 more points, but we have to have a clean triple. Pack comes into our hand. And we can put out our 6 and maybe put out 3 5s. Let's put out 4. Maybe we'll get the other one. And we need to discard. If we put out this king, it's not going to help us get a canasta, so I'm going to hold it. Let's get a jack. Maybe we'll fake them out that we don't have jacks. King. I'm going to put out a 10. Another king. 9. Set yourself up with pairs. Okay, let's put out the 5s, and then we can close them for a canasta. And I'm going to get rid of a jack. There's our king. Now you can put out all these cards that you have 3 of. And all the 4s. I have to hold 1 4 for a discard because I can't put a 6 out. Oh, I guess I could put a queen. Let's put a queen. I can't put a king or a 5 or a 6 because those are dead cards. Oh, sure. We're going to go out. We don't have more than 2 7s or 2 aces. We got 2,200 points for that game, and they got 2,190 negative because they were holding more than 2 aces over here. They were trying to go for a special hand, it looks like, so they got caught with it. So they got a penalty of 1,500 points, plus all the cards in their hand. Everything was negative. Next round. Sort by rank. Wow, we got a lot of all the same low cards. Put out your 3. So we have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20. Let's get rid of the 5. Oh, I have to pick a card for my turn. Oh, do we have it now? I think we have it now, but I'm going to get rid of a 5. And then I'm going to open so that my partner can pick the pack. Oh, geez, got a hole. Let's put out 2 jokers, 2 aces, and 15 points in 4s and hold a 4 and get rid of a 10. Put out your 3 and pick a card for your turn. And I'm going to put out my 4s because I can close them. I'm just going to see if my partner has any. And then you have to discard, and I'm going to discard a 5. They might have 5s, but you know what? I'm going to do a 6. Fours are dead. Oh, he had 5s. He was waiting for the other 5 to come out. Oh, 6s. Perfect. Take the pack. And I'm going to put out the 9. They have 9s in 5th position. It's a safe discard. Partner's just picking every card up. Put my queen out, and I'll put the 8 out. Watch your partner, what he's throwing out an ace. So he has 2 aces. I can close the queens. And I'll put a 5 out. See, he keeps throwing aces now. I hope he's clean, my partner, otherwise we're going to get a penalty. The other team's going out. He had 2 7s, and he got rid of all his aces. Oh, wow. Oh, you know why? Because we had aces. I thought we already closed aces. So he kept 2 7s. I could have threw my 7s, but he never showed me that he had 7, so I wanted to make sure we had them. We got 2,370. They got 1,400. Even though they went out, they get a bonus points of 100 points. We still had more value in our cards. We're at 180 and they are at 125. Wow, look at all those 3s. Put all your 3s out. So I'm going to get 4 replacement cards. And then 1 for my turn. Sort again. I have 3 7s. I probably don't want to hang on to them, but I could go for a special hand. It's a little dangerous, but I'm going to hold on to it just a little bit because we have to get 180. They only need 125, so they'll probably open, and then we could maybe try a special hand. Oh boy, another 7. So I'm looking for the zip code. It's 4 3 3 2 and 2. There's my other 3, 4 3 3 2 and 2. I'm gonna get rid of the 10 and hope for an ace. Yep, we got it. There it is. This is a zip code hand. We won that game tonight with 9,070 points. We only needed 8,500 points. The other team just had a bad hand or hands. They were at negative 1590, so they really were struggling the whole game. So tonight we won 2 games and the other team won 1, so I'm pretty happy about that. There were some choices I made that maybe while I was talking I missed. I forgot to lay down my wild in the beginning. I maybe should have discarded a different card, paying attention to what my partner is playing and what my opponents are discarding. There's so much to do while you're at the canasta table. So please take a look at some of past videos and learn some techniques from my mistakes. And I also learn as we go along. So thank you for joining me. And I appreciate you being here. And next week, we'll have more topics. I'm not sure, but it'll be definitely topics with more basics, tips and tricks and strategies. I always kind of include a little of each. And if you have a topic that you're interested in discussing or need improvement on or want a new skill, place your comments below and I'll be happy to include it in our next Canasta Live Clinic. Again, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, please give me a thumbs up. And also, I always love to hear from you. So email me at mahjongclass@yahoo.com. And I also teach Mahjong. So we do live clinics tomorrow night every Tuesday. If you're interested in Mahjong, join us at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we'll see you next week on Monday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. And see you next week. Thanks for joining me. Good night.